starts now.
All right, thank you for joining us for Weather Extra, and Tania Michelle joining us again. And Tania, we had a great time out at Alabaster City Fest on Saturday.
Oh man, let's talk about it, Wes. It was great. Food was great. I saw you in action greeting and meeting people. I actually captured it on video. I don't know if you saw the video that I posted yet, but it was such a cute behind the scenes. It was so much fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we had a great time, and they had great food, great music, but the big thing, thankfully, the rain held off.
Yes, great weather.
Forecast panned out. I said, let me tell you, if it rains, I'm going to have to hide somewhere. So, yeah, and you as well, right? But thankfully, we had some nice weather conditions. But we do have some pop-up showers right now. Let's talk about the next big thing. And this is tomorrow, a snapshot. And you'll see that we're going to see that chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms making a return to the area. And as we look at those headlines here, we're going to be talking about early morning showers, possible storm, and then that chance for scattered storms making a return during the afternoon. A strong storm is possible tomorrow, also on Wednesday, but it's tomorrow and Wednesday when we see the highest rain chances this week. So just watch it out there tomorrow, because there could be some lightning alerts at times. There will be plenty of breaks, but again, we'll be watching for the rain. There was actually a little bit of rain falling here. This is one of our new Sky Vision cameras. This is at the Houston Cole Library there, Jacksonville State University. It's 82 degrees. This is actually the second round of rain, a little pop-up shower. You see it right there moving north to Jacksonville, but that's the kind of thing that we're seeing right now. Very localized. I mean, when you look at the big picture, you can see a lot of us are still rain-free at this time, but it certainly feels a bit more humid, more soupy across the area right now. There was one storm, had quite a bit of lightning that was over in Pickens County. That storm has weakened. Looks like a little bit of shower activity here north of Jasper. So for folks there along Highway 195 areas to the north there towards Manchester, a little bit of rain. If you're around Curry, you might get a few sprinkles out of that. And it looked like we might have some storms trying to materialize here north of Birmingham out around the airport, but the little towers, those showers towered up and then they quickly collapsed, as you can see. So just some leftover showers there around the Roebuck area and moving to the north. We did have some lightning. It looks like we are now seeing 0 on the lightning count, but a little storm that popped up just south of Logan Martin here around Howells Cove, south of the Cropwell area. That's tracking more in the direction of the Talladega Superspeedway, but for folks around Lincoln over the next 30 minutes, still could have some heavier rain anywhere from Lincoln to east of Boga, so some impacts there, but non-severe, just mostly a downpour that we're seeing right there. So rain chances, again, will become more elevated tomorrow. We'll see a similar to what we're seeing right now, but in greater coverage there during the day. Could be a strong thunderstorm. Same goes for Wednesday, but we have a cold front on the way Thursday into Friday, and that's going to bring some less humid conditions as we go into the weekend. So for Friday and into the day on Saturday, we're going to be talking about a less muggy air mass settling in, some dry, nice, crisp weather as we kick off the weekend. And we'll take that. Most areas actually look dry this weekend, but we'll talk about where we could see a few afternoon showers and storms. But as we continue through the month of June, meteorologist Matt Daniel joins us now to talk more about the climatology and what we can expect for this month in Alabama.
So Saturday was June 1st, which technically begins what we call meteorological summer. So happy meteorological summer from our weather team, all of us here. I know Mickey's excited. He's on vacation. He already decided to take that summer vacation right now. But let's talk about the month of June and where we're at. So obviously with the Alabama seasonal calendar, summer is here. The hurricane season has officially started, which means we're just going to be burning up probably afterwards, right? That's what happens here in the summer, lots of heat and humidity. Let's talk about those sunset and sunrise times. Today, sunset's at 7:54. By July 1st, it's at 8:01. Of course, as we hit summer, that's usually the most daylight we'll see during the year. And then afterwards, as we get closer to fall, we're looking at the chance to see those daylight hours shrink. So by August 1st, our sunset's going to be at 7:46. What about those sunrise times tomorrow? Pretty early at 5:37 on July 1st. Our sunrise a little bit later at 5:41, and this is at 6 a.m. by August 1st. So just to give you an idea of the amount of daylight, it starts to really shrink pretty fast. So by July 1st, we'll have about 14 hours and 20 minutes of daylight. By August 1st, less than 14 hours. And then we'll look at September, October, November. By November 1st, we average almost a little less than 11 hours of daylight. So there you go. Here's a look at our average high temperatures for June. Normally we'll see highs in the upper 80s. Of course, we can see extreme heat at this time time of the year where sometimes we can hit near the century mark. Our average lows also trending warmer. Last month, normally we would see lows in the lower 60s. Now it looks like on average our low temperatures are in the upper 60s, and then it trends even warmer as we go into July. What about rainfall? Well, our rain chances normally happen due to those pop-up showers and storms that we typically see in the summer months. So on average, we'll record about 4.5 to 5 inches of rain in June. And as you can see over the 12 months of the year, you can see our wettest months are usually March and then again in July. And of course in fall, that's when we see those rain chances really back off as it ends up pretty dry. So that's just an overview of June and what to expect. It's normally hot, muggy, with a chance for some storms. But happy meteorological summer. And of course, we'll continue to fine tune those forecasts. Of course, rain pretty likely for this week.
Well, thanks, Matt. This comes as millions of people across the West Coast are preparing for the first heat wave of the summer, which could likely result in triple-digit temperatures. A building ridge of high pressure from the Pacific Ocean and Mexico is gearing up to crank up the heat this week. Woo! Look at that, 109 degrees, Las Vegas, crazy. That same pattern causing record-breaking temperatures south of us will bring temperatures from California to Arizona to the triple digits. Some places possibly seeing temperatures of 118 or higher. If Las Vegas reaches at least 110 degrees on Wednesday, it will set a new record for the earliest 110-degree day in the city. I think they can do it too. And wildfires continue to sweep through parts of California after firing up over the weekend. It's being called the Coral Fire, and it's only 75% contained. Burning more than 14,000 acres, it forced people in the city of Tracy to evacuate. At least one home burned down due to the fire, and one resident says they were given little notice to even leave their home.
Well, it was a little scary because it was last minute. I mean, we left home without meds or anything. I never thought for a minute that a fire would get that close to our homes.
Man, the evacuation order has since been lifted for Tracy residents, and they were able to return back to their homes, thankfully. Well, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break with a quick check-in on your radar, plus more stories of weather happening across the country. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra.
All right, time for another radar check, and I was mentioning some of these storms over in the Talladega County right now, but we actually have a storm that's really blossomed here around Lincoln. Probably start to see more lightning with this. Actually, the lightning counter is still showing 0, but this is developing, so we might hear a rumble or two. If you're around Sulphur Springs, Morrisville areas, over towards East of Boga, first alert. But scattered storms to start the week. We'll see a greater coverage tomorrow and then again on Wednesday, but we do have some changes that will arrive for the weekend. We'll talk about the extended forecast. More to come right here on Weather Extra.
And Wes, 1 month since the worst flooding in Nairobi's history, and residents across the city are still impacted. While city officials are now largely ignoring the problem, some residents say the response to the damage has been focused on the most affluent neighborhoods, leaving those in Nairobi's many slums in dire straits. Larry Madowo takes a deeper look at the double standard.
This is not a river. This is a family's courtyard in Runda, one of Nairobi's wealthiest suburbs. More than a month after record rains and floods hit Kenya, their home is still submerged. Jonathan Das says they haven't even started quantifying how much his family has lost. Nothing is left untouched after 2 meters of floodwaters moved in.
These are rally cars.
A lot of people were moving into the city. We've got people coming from abroad who want to live in these, luxurious leafy areas. And there's a lot of demand for that. At the same time, we're not moving fast enough to be able to plan properly and understand what needs to be done to accommodate all these people coming in.
Runda has a reputation for being very well planned.
because it's a diplomatic quarter. The UN is here, the US Embassy is here.
I don't know what to say, Larry. It's not well planned. If it was well planned, we wouldn't be sitting here in a boat.
All this water in Runda has nowhere to go because the drainage of this water pan is blocked. The residents blame it on corruption and impunity.
There is someone who is backfilling slowly but surely, so the dam is becoming smaller and smaller, and there is not an outlet to send the water that arrives to somewhere else.
Sean Blaschke can only navigate his backyard with a paddleboard, a far cry from the playground and garden it was before the rains. Is there fish here?
There is actually quite a bit. This is practically a fish farm at the moment.
Did you always have catfish before?
Nope. This is a fairly new perk of living on Lake Runda.
Some of the Runda residents whose homes remain underwater have lived here for decades without drainage issues until now. Do you believe this is a man-made disaster?
We've had a lot of rain, but the magnitude of the disaster created by greedy grabbing.
Across town from Runda, in Nairobi's oldest slum, Mathare, bulldozers have brought down everything standing within 30 meters of a river. Many had just 24 hours notice. This used to be somebody's house. In fact, I stood on top of this exact same house in late April after some of the worst flooding Kenya has seen claimed some lives in this informal settlement. The government then ordered them out, forcefully evicted thousands of families from this area and demolished their homes. Nairobi's poorest have suffered the most from the flooding and the evictions that have left so many homeless.
What we have seen is that the rich are enjoying the rights, but as the poor, we are fighting to enjoy the rights that is supposed to be our rights, which is not fair.
The Kenyan government maintains that the mandatory evacuations were for the sake of public safety after flooding killed more than 300 people.
Well, it's such an interesting story there, and praying for them, of course. But we'll have more right here on First Alert Weather Extra. We're actually going to be having an interview with Dr. Don Olive at Samford University to talk about outer space a little bit. We'll have more right here. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra. We'll be right back.
Hello? Hello, test, test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hi, good. Okay, great. Is there going to be time for me to do a animation or share screen animation?
Oh, he's
I can simulate the.
to show animation.
Yeah. If we could do that.
Can we test it real quick?
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. We'll let you share an animation. Hey, Dr. Don, how are you doing, sir? Dr. Olive.
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you, and thank you for doing this. You just continue to look straight ahead. I'll be looking at the camera, and it will look right on television, but it'll look like we're side by side.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, we're on Do Not Disturb. We're good.
All right. Do we need to mute your audio or no?
Do we need to mute my audio, or it sounds good?
I guess we're good. Okay.
Leave how.
All right. Thank you. So we're less than a minute out, and after we begin, when you start talking. share the animation, we could do that. Welcome back into Weather Extra. Well, some interesting news happening in space. We've been talking a lot about the auroras over the past couple of weeks. Well, this week, the planets are making headlines, and there's been an opportunity to see multiple planets in the night sky at a certain point during the day. And we wanted to bring in right now an expert on this, Dr. Don Olive from Samford University, Professor of Physics, Department Chair. And Dr. Olive, you direct the planetarium there at Samford University, and I know you've been really following along here with what's happening with the Parade of Planets, as it's being called. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, right. So the Parade of Planets, starting around 1 or 2 in the morning, last night and tonight, you should be able to observe the planets rising kind of one right after the other, starting with Saturn, Mars, all the way through Uranus, Neptune, Jupiter, Mercury. We should see essentially all the planets, except for Venus, rising consecutively over the night. I can show a short animation of that if I can share my screen real quick.
Yeah, please do. So I know earlier today we were talking about the weather conditions were not ideal because we did have a lot of clouds in place, but hopefully those weather conditions improve. But tell us what you're showing us here.
Yeah, so we're looking kind of over to the east, southeast, and you can see right here on the horizon, which is this dark band here, this is Saturn about to rise, and I'll kind of speed up time and we can watch the planets rising over the course of the night. So there comes Saturn rising over here in the east, moving up across the southern sky. Here comes Mars, and then the waning crescent moon to follow that, then Uranus, Mercury, Jupiter, and then finally the sunrise about 6:30 in the morning. So that's what we're calling the parade of stars, parade of planets.
Wow. So will all the planets, will you need the aid of a telescope to see all of the planets, or can you see all the planets without a telescope?
Right now, you can't see Uranus or Neptune, but you can see Uranus and Neptune even with a pair of binoculars. Telescope would be ideal, but binoculars are just as easy. You can see at least all the planets except for Uranus and Neptune.
So as we go through the month of June, is this something that will become like will the planets as they rise, will that happen even further before the sunrise time frame, so we'll have more time to observe as we go through late June?
Right, they rise a little bit earlier every night because of the motion of the Earth around the sun and the planets around the sun. And so, yeah, they're going to be rising a little bit earlier every night. Later, around June, I guess 27th or 29th, somewhere in that time frame, will be a beautiful time to see the planets. You'll have Jupiter and Mars, and the waxing crescent moon will be kind of high and prominent in the evening sky. So that would be the best time later this month in the evening.
And Dr. Olive, tell us a little bit, before we let you go here, tell us a little bit about the planetarium and for someone that may be interested in checking out the planetarium.
Right, we have shows roughly every 2 weeks, and we have shows Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoons, Saturday nights and Sunday afternoons. We just finished up with a show we called A Star is Born, basically how stars form, talk about the lifetime of stars and then how they ultimately die. So our next show is going to be on recent discoveries of the James Webb Space Telescope. You can look for these on the Samford Planetarium website, or the easiest way to find when shows are is just go to tickets.samford.edu, and that's where you can get tickets for our shows. Kids are free under 12.
Thank you so much, Dr. Olive. We certainly appreciate you joining us here today, and we look forward to having you back on First Alert Weather Extra.
Thank you.
All right, so let's switch gears here. We go from the planets to our own planet right now as we talk about what's happening with the weather. We've got some scattered showers showing up across the area right now. 81 in Tuscaloosa right now, showing 82 in Pell City at this time. And looking at the radar right now, so we've got isolated showers showing up, and we're going to be seeing this activity continuing tonight and into the day tomorrow. Looks like we're going to see some more wet weather developing in the morning and again during the afternoon. But we have one storm right now around Lincoln that's producing quite a bit of lightning, and that's around east of Boga, and that will be tracking there off to the north. The next 24 hours, though, through tonight and tomorrow, you can see how the models still pick up on some development here even through 9 o'clock. But in the morning out the door, we'll stop it right here 6 in the morning. You can see the possibility that some storms and some showers will be around for the first part of the day, and then again as we go into the afternoon, even showing around lunchtime. So tomorrow's one of those days I just can't promise the entire day is going to be dry here. In the morning could be some development, and also in the afternoon. So stay alert for scattered thunderstorms tomorrow. There will be some in-between periods, and the same goes for Wednesday. This is just classic June weather here in Alabama. Models for Wednesday show some early morning rain possible, especially to the north and west. And again, we'll have to watch it as we heat up during the day. That afternoon, we get hot, humid. We'll see some afternoon storms developing, but things start to change here Thursday, Friday. We got a cold front on the way, and as that moves in, notice some less humid air. And the models, we were talking about this last week, seeing that cold front moving in. And before that front gets here, again, we'll have to watch out for some of those stronger thunderstorms next few days. But once this dry, less humid air settles in, nice, refreshing start to our weekend. We'll enjoy temperatures at night cooling off into the low 60s. But we go to our first alert 7-day forecast. You'll see here that we've got less humid air Friday and Saturday, highs in the 80s, overnight lows in the 60s, and into next week. Looks like more humid with afternoon temperatures there in the upper 80s, so the heat index will be more of a factor. Looks like a few isolated afternoon showers and storms for Sunday and into Monday of next week. But I'll be back with another radar check as we continue right here on First Alert Weather Extra. And welcome back into Weather Extra, and we were talking about what a great time we had at Alabaster City Fest, Tania, on Saturday. Thankfully, the weather cooperated.
It sure did. Rain and storms in the morning, by the afternoon for people to enjoy the City Festival. It turned out perfect. And there was even some sun trying to pick through those clouds. I don't know if you noticed, Wes.
Yeah, that's the band 12 right there. Had the pleasure of introducing those guys, and that was one of the instructors there at Thompson High School, the lead singer, and man, he did a great job. And they had quite the variety of music, but the band, you know, Scotty McCreery, Michael Warren, you know, just a lot of familiar faces there, and a lot of folks stopped by to say hello, and a lot of great food.
I can tell. Oh, did you see that cotton candy? I didn't make my way over to that station.
I didn't make it to the cotton candy either. I mean, it was, I've stopped by the strawberry cake booth. And
that was good.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good. But for everybody that stopped by to say hello to Tania and I on Saturday, we certainly thank you and certainly appreciate you watching us right here on WBRC. But we're watching the radar for you right now. And Tania, the rain, you look at the big picture, you don't see a lot. But when you really zoom in, you see that we do have some pockets of heavier rain.
Yeah, some people, matter of fact, getting some heavy rainfall right now. Those scattered showers and storms really going to continue throughout the evening. Look at that rain pushing through. What's that, Walker County, West?
Tuscaloosa County.
Tuscaloosa County.
Yeah, Tuscaloosa County. But this is that one storm. That thing really producing the lightning right now.
Just over Lincoln, now near Martins Mill. That's north of Interstate 20. So some heavy rainfall and some frequent lightning there.
Now, it looks like that's moving towards Alexandria and Ohatchee. So a first alert there for Alexandria and Ohatchee. But more on rain chances and the rest of the week tonight. Join us first at 9.